This week, the world stands on the brink of unprecedented tension. Events are accelerating. Decisions are being made in real time. Between the United States, Iran, and Israel, an escalation the world has not witnessed in years. While Europe carefully watches, trying to prevent any major explosion that could change global power balances. This is not just a military confrontation. It is a complex web of political and economic interests. Every movement of troops, every statement released to the media, every diplomatic maneuver directly affects global markets, oil prices, and international security. In this context, the United States is increasing its military presence in the region. A third aircraft carrier has recently been deployed, along with a full support fleet. A clear message to Iran: any threat to our interests will not go unanswered. At the same time, official statements stress that a ground invasion remains an option, but has not been taken yet. Just a single word about a potential invasion is enough to escalate global anxiety. Iran, on the other hand, has not remained silent. Threats continue. Drone strikes and ballistic missile attacks target specific sites, and there are warnings about controlling navigation through a strategically vital strait, through which a significant portion of global oil passes, causing markets to react directly to every move or statement. At the heart of the political scene, the name Donald Trump returns prominently. Harsh statements to television and the press. Iran will not withstand pressure, and American strength will impose reality. Anything is possible if diplomacy does not succeed quickly. Trump's words reflect a firm stance, signaling that military and political pressure could escalate if current negotiations fail. The United States has reinforced its military presence across multiple locations in the region. Air and naval forces are on high alert. Intelligence reports indicate that precision strikes could target Iranian missile sites, command centers, and other sensitive infrastructure if tensions escalate. Officials have repeatedly emphasized that a ground invasion remains a last resort, due to the potential for a prolonged conflict with high costs and unpredictable consequences. At the same time, U.S. forces conduct large-scale training exercises, demonstrating readiness for multiple contingencies. Europe watches cautiously. The United Kingdom has expressed firm support for American efforts to deter Iranian aggression, while Germany and Spain advocate for diplomacy and caution, urging restraint to avoid a broader regional war. Even without direct conflict, Iran's threats regarding the strategic strait have immediate consequences. Oil tankers reroute, insurance rates for shipments rise, and global markets respond with volatility. Analysts warn that any disruption in the strait could spike oil prices significantly. Donald Trump told the press, "We must be strong. Iran cannot be allowed to threaten the world. We have the best military, and if we need to act decisively, we will." His words underline a firm position, emphasizing both military and political pressure. As the standoff continues, Israel continues to conduct targeted operations against Iranian-aligned forces in neighboring regions. These strikes are part of a larger strategy to prevent the transfer of advanced weaponry that could threaten Israeli security. Iran continues to raise the stakes in this standoff. While avoiding full-scale confrontation, Tehran has issued warnings about controlling navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly 20% of the world's oil passes daily. Any disruption in the strait could halt shipments, spike insurance premiums, and trigger global oil price volatility. Even statements hinting at closing the strait are enough to send shockwaves through international markets. Iranian naval forces conduct drills and simulations in the Persian Gulf, showing both capability and readiness to respond if provoked. Their actions are coupled with missile tests targeting potential U.S. and Israeli operational zones. Iranian officials declare that any attack on their sovereignty will be met with decisive retaliation. These statements are designed to strengthen domestic resolve while warning global powers that escalation carries serious economic and security consequences. Israel continues to conduct precise military operations targeting Iranian-backed forces in Syria and Lebanon. The focus is on preventing the transfer of advanced weaponry that could threaten Israeli cities. These operations are calculated, aiming to maintain a balance of deterrence. Israel emphasizes that their goal is not escalation, but security and protection of civilians. Israeli officials claim that they are prepared for any eventuality, and that continued Iranian provocations will be met with proportional responses. Meanwhile, warnings are issued to neighboring areas, emphasizing that civilians must stay vigilant and that regional security depends on strict readiness. Europe remains divided in its response. The United Kingdom expresses firm support for U.S. deterrence efforts. Germany advocates restraint, emphasizing diplomatic solutions to avoid further escalation. Spain calls for negotiations and dialogue, warning that military confrontation could destabilize the entire region. The European Union monitors oil markets closely. Even minor disruptions in the Gulf are enough to influence prices, prompting strategic stockpiling and contingency planning. European leaders urge calm, but behind closed doors, debates continue over how to balance support for the U.S. with avoiding a regional war. The escalating tensions are not limited to military actions. Global oil prices have fluctuated sharply over the past week due to Iran's threats regarding the Strait of Hormuz. Insurance premiums for tanker shipments are rising, and major energy markets are closely monitoring every statement. Traders fear that even minor disruptions could trigger ripple effects across industries dependent on petroleum. Countries heavily reliant on imported oil are preparing contingency plans to stabilize supply. European leaders emphasize that economic stability depends on de-escalation. They stress that military conflict in the region would have immediate consequences far beyond the Middle East, affecting energy security worldwide. Intelligence agencies report continued monitoring of Iranian missile facilities, naval deployments, and drone capabilities. U.S. and allied forces are conducting simulations to prepare for potential escalation scenarios. Analysts warn that miscalculations by either side could quickly lead to a broader conflict. Diplomatic channels remain open, but trust between the parties is extremely low. Trump continues to emphasize strength in statements to the press. We are ready to act if necessary. Iran must understand that threats will not be tolerated. Neighboring countries brace for potential consequences. Even minor incidents could trigger unintended responses, escalating tensions rapidly. Global media continue to report developments with intense scrutiny. News channels emphasize potential conflict scenarios, often highlighting U.S. military readiness and Iranian retaliatory capabilities. In Europe and the U.S., public concern grows as analysts discuss the potential impact on oil, security, and international stability. Political leaders seek to reassure citizens while projecting strength to opposing nations. Trump frequently addresses the media to assert U.S. power. We will not back down. Iran must face consequences for its threats. Media narratives shape public perception, influence diplomacy, and may indirectly affect the decisions of leaders on both sides. Experts identify three primary scenarios: limited exchanges of fire, without escalation into full war; regional escalation involving multiple nations, potentially disrupting oil markets further; diplomatic resolution, temporarily lowering tensions. While diplomacy remains the preferred path, the risk of miscalculation or accidental conflict is high. Every statement, military movement, or strike carries the potential for rapid escalation. The entire world monitors these developments, aware that consequences extend beyond the immediate region. Energy security, economic stability, and international alliances are all at risk. Global powers watch closely, aware that a single misstep could have consequences far.
The current situation remains volatile.
Military, political, and economic factors continue to intersect in unpredictable ways. Decisions taken in the coming days could either stabilize the region or push it toward a larger conflict. Global powers watch closely, aware that a single misstep could have consequences far beyond the Middle East. Trump emphasizes the need for strength and decisive action. We will not allow threats to go unanswered. The world must respect American resolve. The world stands at a pivotal moment. Escalation, diplomacy, or miscalculation. Each path carries immense consequences. The coming days will determine not only regional security, but the stability of international energy markets, alliances, and the global balance of power. And in the latest developments today, new signals suggest a possible shift in the direction of the conflict. U.S. officials have indicated that there may be a finish line in sight, with discussions ongoing behind the scenes between Washington and Tehran. At the same time, President Donald Trump is expected to address the nation, with reports suggesting that U.S. military operations could begin winding down within weeks. However, tensions remain high, as Trump sharply criticized European countries for refusing to participate in the conflict, raising concerns about growing divisions within Western alliances. Meanwhile, missile exchanges and military operations continue on the ground, reminding the world that despite talk of an end, the conflict is far from over.